Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Salon Talks with Sony. I am your host, Sony. Today we have a very special, I know I say that every time, y'all. But it is special to me, okay? We have a very special episode today with a very special guest. This is actually my real friend, y'all, in real life. Her name is Chantae. Let's welcome Chantae. Woo! Welcome to Salon Talk, sister. Okay, so today is going to be a fun episode, okay? So the topic for today is millennial parenthood and unlearning toxic behaviors. And who perfect to talk about being a parent with than my friend here, a mother of... You mind?
Listen.
Of 6 children. I had to. A mother, a wife, a great friend, a sister, all of the things, y'all. She really is like the best. She's the sweetest. So we're going to chop it up. And of course, the voice in the back. We all know Sean. Sean is in here as well. So we're going to I feel like this is going to be a good one. We're going to have a great discussion. So let's jump right into it. How you feeling?
Listen, I'm here. You know, I have my coffee, so it's really giving. It's giving early in the morning.
We had coffee. We got warmed up a little bit, so we can chop it up. All right, guys. So, millennial parenting. I ain't a parent yet, but I feel like I have been because I have siblings and all of the things and nieces and nephews and all my friends, for the most part, got kids.
That counts.
So I've been practicing, y'all. I really have. Don't judge me, okay?
But it ain't the same, though.
I know, but I've been practicing, y'all.
You watched all of my village people. You know, they really got to learn you, and you got to understand the real headaches of them. You chasing them under the beds and all the things. But that's a different story.
No, those were my babies. Those were my babies.
They're too much.
They were. I used to miss them so much. It felt like I had kids without having kids. Yes. But we're going to jump into it. The first segment, I'm just going to ask her a few questions. Y'all know how this goes. We're going to start our conversation by ask her a few questions, and then we can go back and forth between the three of us and all of the things and y'all. So, how was your childhood? Can you tell us a little bit about that? And
listen,
all the things in your
my childhood was ghetto. No, I'm just kidding. It was very much, you know, regular. I didn't come from a 2-parent household, so my mom had a mom, I had a dad. You know, they were together. They did a big one with me, period, clock it, because I do got siblings, but they could judge, don't judge me, judge yourself. Anywho, but I did grow up in a 2-parent household, and then my parents got separated. My dad met my stepmom, and so I was raised by a single mother and learning all the things because, of course, it's important when a girl is raised with her mom. And then I got that fundamental part with my dad, like getting to understand like a man's love and the importance of having a dad. So that really helped, but you also do still struggle because when 2 parents aren't together or they separate and not like a good space, like of them separating and there's like arguments, sometimes the kid get caught in a crossfire. Yeah. So just learning how to be able to just enjoy being a kid and just not take what they got going on personally, in a sense.
Okay.
That's fair.
No, that's good. I think beautiful. I think that happens for a lot of us. You know, same thing with me. Like, I grew up with my mom and dad together, but then they separated when I was like in high school or so. So
you had them together for a while. Yeah.
But still, I was able to be conscious of them not being together, separating, you know, their problems from me.
Yeah.
So that's a real valid statement you made, for real.
Yeah, definitely.
I love that. I didn't get that experience, but I did have a stepfather that came on later. But I always say this, by the time he came around, I was a full grown woman mentally because of how I had to jump in and help. But I love that others got to experience, you know, a family dynamic and be able to share that with the people around you and things like that. So, how did that affect your parenthood? Can you tell us a little bit about your parenthood journey?
Listen, so she did bust me out and say I had 6 kids. Don't judge me, judge yourself. Okay, I'm like in the military.
But y'all, she had a set of twins, y'all. It went like she was just having a baby. Like she had a set of twins.
Like, is it me or is it him? Like,
you can't get out.
Listen, he got got 6 kids, okay? I just can't find they're my village people. So I
the village people is insane.
Listen,
the village people. I would tell the kids.
They're villagers, okay, and not the queen. That's just what anyway. But I do have 5 boys, and I just had a daughter. A couple of
5 brothers. I told her.
Thank you. Y'all see me checking my shirts because y'all know I be breastfeeding because I got an order or whatever. But it's definitely different parenting because just having this conversation with you like off camera about being able to separate the two, like my mom, you know, them older generation, they like do as I say, you know, all of the things, and I say what I said, and you just do what you say. Right. So I'm just really not trying to be that parent, more so like, hey, you know, if you got a question, ask me. Like, hey, I really did not want to do the dishes. Like, that is too much. Like, hey, why I gotta do dishes? Because I was just saying, like, dang, I don't even be in here for real. Like, why I gotta be doing dishes? Like, you know, like, explain to me. So just basic stuff like that. Like, me and my husband, I always try to keep it like an open dialogue. So just trying to make sure that, and then just establishing healthy boundaries, like teaching them, like, it is okay. Like, old school parents, they be all in the mix. You be 30, my mama like, make sure you let them kids clothes out. Girl, I am dead. Like, you can't just be, I'm dead. Like, you can't be telling me, you know, so just letting them know, like, hey, you have to establish like healthy boundaries, like not with me, not just with your friends or people around you, just with like us too. Like, hey, I did not like when you talk to me like that. Like, I ain't like when daddy was yelling at me like that. Now, you know, if you kid, you know, you start with me and your daddy have to come across you, you know, he might have to push me back, you know. I can't, that's between you, the Lord, and your father, you know. But just letting them know, like, hey, you could come, you could talk to me, you could just, you know, we could chop it up, we could have an open conversation. When you're thinking about dating, thinking about all of the things in life, like, this is a safe space. You don't gotta sneak, because you gonna want to do all the things, and I'm gonna be like, drink, sheesh. But just come to me, and so we can have a healthy conversation about the things and what it brings, and dating, and and then having a girl. I don't know nothing about having no girl, so y'all just gonna have to break, because I'm just have to wing that. I'm gonna wing it.
I mean, okay, I'm not a parent, but I feel like with having a girl, you kind of have to just base it off of you being a girl. Mm-hmm. And that's the only thing, like, I can think of. With my niece, I do that. I'm like, okay, so when I was her age, what did I feel? What was I thinking? What was, like, my view of life? Because at 4 or 5, 6 years old, like, what are you actually thinking about? But that goes to my next question. So, can you share the age gap between the kids? We said it was 6 of them. So, what's the age gap? What's the age gap between the kids?
Okay, so I have an 8-year-old, and then I have a 5-year-old, and then I have a 4-year-old. The twins will be 2 in December, and then Grayson is going to be 5 in November. I miss Grayson. Grayson is going to be 5 in November, and twins going to be 2 in December, and then baby girl, of course, she just got a long way to go because she just hit, but she just got, so she's like
just landed. Okay, so with the age gap and all of the things, what has surprised you about your parenting? Since, you know, you're raised in the same house, but we don't parent all of the kids the same. So what has surprised you about your own parenting that you didn't feel like, oh, I ain't gonna be doing that, and you're doing it?
I know, like, I'm not gonna be giving them kids them tablets. Like, that's ghetto. Like, why they have that playing with them kids? Like, but you know, I feel like when you become a parent, you're like, I'm gonna be doing this. I'm gonna be taking them and reading and doing and everything. And then you get the kid and you be like, girl, go find you something to do.
Look, hello.
Like,
here's the iPad.
Bruh. But seriously, just like, you have to parent everybody differently. So I got a soft child, so I have to be more soft and mindful of what I say and more explaining because he's the oldest, and then still giving him that time. So creating that space where the younger kids, they're getting a babysitter, and we just have that one-on-one time with him because he's like the big brother. He like making a Bible. He like the third parent in the group. And I never want my child to feel like the parent, because I don't like when people have an older kid and the older kid got to be parenting the kids. Like, you decide to have a child, like, you know, in respect to the people that have to do what they have to do, but just you know, like being mindful that he does have to do a lot. So just like, okay, let's do separate times with you. And then as far as like the little people, you know, having to be like, okay, we not doing this. Like we're not kicking, we not falling out. We not falling out in the store. Well, listen, we saying yes and yes ma'am right here. Okay. It could either be a yes or yes ma'am. We ain't saying yeah. Okay. Cause I'm not your little friend. Okay. That's one thing I'm taking from my mama because I am not one of your little friends. But one thing I do got McDonald's money. Okay. Because she got McDonald's money. When we going out, we could go out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, then we gotta cook Thursday and Friday because I gotta be a good mom.
That is hilarious. The McDonald's money was so true.
Because what does she mean? She don't got McDonald's money. Like, where is it?
With that, I'm gonna jump in. We were raised on fear, right? It was like, I'm not going to do that because my mama going to whoop me.
Right.
Or I'm not going to try to sneak out because, man, if I get caught, I'm going to be on punishment for 30 years and 30 nights. Like, so it was more so fear instilled in us rather than like you were saying, you want your kids to semi kind of have a friendship with you or to be able to hold a dialogue where it's a revolving door. You come in, I come in, you go out, I go out. We have a line of communication. So within that, how are you able to not instill fear, but still have them respect you? And like with our upbringing, since it was centered around fear and if my mama say so, that's it. How are you able to strip that and still parent them where they know not to play with you? But it's not like, oh my God, like, extremely, how can I say this? Like life and death almost, like they scared of you so bad that they feel like I cannot talk to this lady because you know what I mean?
Yeah. Because it's like, it's kind of like with the opposite, like, I'm trying to even go and say it. In a sense, so with the boys, like having 5 boys, you have to be like, I don't know, like, cause I'm raising all of the things, like, I want you to be successful. I want you to be accomplished. I don't want you to be broken. Like, there's always this stereotypical thing around men. And like, I'm raising brown boys. My husband is a brown man. So, you know, no shit against people, you know, you're gonna love who you love, you know, okay, I understand, you know, but I'm raising a black man. So I want him to understand what it means to be a black man in America, you know, what it is to do those things. So I have to be tough on you because, and not tough like, I'm gonna beat you, I'm gonna do that. But I have to give you that tough love because when you get into the world, they're not going to cuddle you like mommy do. Like, so I'm still going to give you the love. I'm still going to say that I love you. I appreciate you. You are important. Your feelings matter. One thing I will give my children is a mental health day. Like, just because you're in school does not mean that you are a robot. It's just like work. You get tired of going to work. So if you need to have a mental health day 2-3 times out of the month, you know, holla at your girl. But I still want them to be like, you know, I want you to understand that what I say is what I say. And if I'm telling you something, I'm telling you this because I want you to be protected. And I'm telling you this because this is going to save your life. So if I'm telling you, if somebody break in going to the next room, I want you to be like, why? Cause who said that? That's when the fear of God gonna come in because don't be questioning what I say. Just do what I say. But I also have to be instilled like with the 2-year-olds. They don't have that understanding like, you know, so I have to be like, finna whoop your butt. Like, you cannot be falling out in the middle of Walmart. Like, that is embarrassing. Like, it's 2 of y'all. So you need to, like, let me bring my spoon. Because I'm going to give you a love sandwich. And that's when my gentle parents come in. I'm going to be like, please don't do that. Please don't do that. And then I'm going to say, please don't do. See, I have to, like, there's tones to it. Right. Because, you know, I'm going to give you, like, 18 warnings. You know, now I'm going to tell my husband, his is, like, 1.2 seconds. And it's like, bah! But that's another thing for another time. But I'm more so just going to give you that understanding where it's like, hey, do this, and then, you know, the reaction's going to come. But more so for my older people that can understand and process and digest, I'm going to definitely be like, okay, which is where that different parenting come in that you said, like, where is that difference? Some people need a love sandwich and a hug and a kiss and, you know, a pat on the back, and I have to talk slow and I have to understand, and some people just need a...
Okay, Sean. Real quick, because Sean's a newer dad, okay? He just joined Dad Gang.
Congratulations.
Shout out to Dad Gang. So I want to hear, like, a man's perspective. Because, you know, we're like you said, with your husband, it's 2.5 seconds. And, well, dog, you better hop in that room before I round you out.
To get that 5-year-old, he gonna be like, ooh.
So from a man's perspective, how would you, okay, I'm gonna start from the question, 50 million thoughts. Y'all see it live and in action, how it literally happens to me. But, the question was, how are you going to separate raising your children, your child with fear? How fear was instilled in us with leading with love, but also having that sternness to where they know, like, don't try me, bro.
So my daughter is 10 months. All right. So she's still like itty bitty tiny. And I always felt like, I was going to be like the chill parent, calm, best friend Bob. But I'm learning quickly that I'm the disciplinarian. You know what I'm saying? Me and my wife, we kind of go back and forth there. So I think right now, the biggest thing that I'm trying to understand or trying to like make real for me is that growing up as a guy, we were kind of taught that toughness was strength.
Yeah.
Like being tough is a part of being strong.
Yeah.
And what I'm understanding now more so is being gentle is also a strength too. Right? Because even when you're mad, you might be a little distraught. To have that power to control your emotions and understand that your kids are watching your every move, that takes real strength to not let an exterior thing change the way you feel on the inside. So that's one thing that I feel like I'm trying to bring to my daughter, so she really understands that everything that happens on the outside comes from the inside. And then I did have a scripture too that I felt like.
Oh yeah, you can share scriptures, friend.
Oh
we
my
believe
God!
in the Lord.
Listen,
in the Lord's Almighty.
The one thing I do is be like, around this boy child. Listen.
So the scripture is Colossians 3:21. Fathers, do not embitter your children, or they will become discouraged. Another one was Ephesians 6:4. Fathers, do not provoke your children to anger. And for me, I just feel like these two really kind of show us that, parenting has to come from a place of discipline and love, not from a place of anger and control.
Yeah. Ooh, we need that one. I just got literal chill. Do you see the hairs up on my arm? Say that one more time for the people in the back.
I feel like as parents, we have to learn how to parent with discipline and love, not with control and anger. You know what I mean? I think that's super important to be able to distinguish the two. And one of the biggest things that I'm trying to figure out with that, because parenting is a learning process, is how to really show strength without like silencing my kids. With them really understanding like, okay, Dad know what he's talking about, and I trust him. So I think it's really just about leading by example, honestly.
Yes. I agree. I feel like a lot of times, like you said, with our generation, our parents, because this is what they saw, this is all they know as well. Like they're still going through this for the first round too, and that's how I kind of forgave my mom about a lot of things. But that's how they were taught to just have control. It's not really like a conversational relationship. It's just do as you're told, not what you see, or do what I say and not what you know what I mean? Right. So I feel like that's breaking the curse of having a transactional like parent-kid relationship, and it's more space for love and less just fear of the parent. Like, you're my friend, yeah, you're my parent, and I have to respect that, but I can still come to you as my friend about a lot of things instead of it being like, oh, I'm so scared of mommy, I'm so scared of daddy, I can't talk to daddy about nothing because I'm gonna get dragged. Like, that was our fear. And I love that we've changed the dynamics.
And I do think that there are stages to it, right? So I think early it's important for you to be disciplinary, for them to tell you, do exactly like you said, do what I say, not what I And then you can get to that coaching point. Then you can get to that best friend point. But each stage you have to be locked in on what that looks like. And then what was I gonna say? I think that's super important to keep in mind though, because there's stages to it. You're not going to be the same parent all the time. The dynamics. English show is not my first language, okay? The dynamics does change. So that brings us to the next question. When you think back, what's one toxic behavior or belief you saw in your household that you have to unlearn? This is for everybody in the room, because I feel like we all have something to share about this, but we're going to start with you first. When you think back, what's one toxic behavior or belief that you saw in your household that you had to unlearn as an adult?
Listen, this conversation is in because I just had 2-hour, 3-hour therapy session with my mom, and the therapist literally had her read that Bible verse. Literally, her 2 Bible verses.
You see, the Lord
were that because
He in the room.
Yes, like
how is that such a coincidence? I'm so sorry to cut you off, but that just gave me chills too. How is that?
I'm like, why we gonna talk about makeup? Like, cause that's a literal conversation with my mom. Like, bro, like, but that was literally her Bible verse that she had to read, and then mine was, oh my God, I'm really trying to think off the top of my head, but it spoke to more so like not using the Lord's name in vain. But what you said was the not provoke your child, like in the different stages, how you have to parent your and tell me if I'm getting on topic with the question too, but when at 30, my mom has to like relearn me, because we had a situation where it was like, hey, every time I have a baby, and of course, like she said, I had 6 kids, so back to back. But just her relearning me, because she'll say like the inappropriate thing, and that go back to like that old school parent where I'm like, I just had a baby. She's like, y'all need to be out here in this backyard with these kids, and I'm just like, I just had a baby, and my husband just made sure I did not meet glory. Like, he's making sure that I'm on top. Like, he's making sure that everything is where it needs to be, and that my mental health is where. So like, let's give like, and people don't give the dads grace too. Like, even though the wife is physically going through it, this person still has to carry like the mental load. And then like, he's a husband, he's a dad. That's a whole other subject, but all of the things, like those things, are all together in one. So just having the conversation with her, like, hey, you have to respect my boundaries and understand that me and my husband is not gonna parent the same thing. So if our children are playing outside, I didn't get that. I grew up on the south side of Chicago in the hood. Like, I'm in the center of the hood, so all the hood videos, all your favorite artists doing it, all of my favorite artists, like, he's out there, like, all of those people, that's where I'm from. Like, I'm from the inner city. My husband's from the like hundreds of Chicago. So like, that's our thing. So just creating a boundary where I'm like, hey mom, like, if we having a hard conversation, back in the day, people would have hard conversations in front of their kids. Like, I don't want that to be my thing. Like, I want my husband to be like I want them to see love. I want them to be like, oh, my mom, so our goal was to be like, hey, if we're having an argument, and trust me, married people say a lot of other people in the back, what thing you gonna do is be arguing, okay? Because when they say marriage is easy, I'm gonna tell you, I've been married for 10 years, and it's not. It'd be like, bro, Lord, but it's more so like making sure, like, when it came to the situation with my mom and us having the long therapy session and trying to unpack, it's like, okay, at the end they're like, hey, what did you hear her say? And as an older generation parent, her response was, I just heard her say that I just needed to
like, all in attack.
You're not like, and she gonna get that back because she got 6 kids. Like, and the therapist had to say, like, that's not what we like. We're not saying what we get back. So what I always want to change is like instilling those healthy boundaries. Like, it does not matter how old the person. People think that when you get older, you just entitled to that respect. Like, yeah, please respect them if they're 92. Don't go ham on them. Give them that grace, because mama and grandma and nana and all of the people, they've been here a little while. But just instilling the healthy boundaries and letting my children see, like, okay, we're gonna have, me, mom and dad are gonna have an argument in front of you, but we're gonna have it in a productive way. Like, so we're not gonna be yelling at each other. We might get behind doors and I'm like, what is the silly shoes doing? But in front of them, I'm gonna be like, hey, I did not like the way you did not put the toothpaste. He always say I don't put the toothpaste on the toothpaste, and I always say that it don't need to be on there because I'm gonna be brushing my teeth like again, like it don't need to. It should, but those are the things that I see, that I want to change.
I mean, I'm the same way.
Look, I was just about to say, now, why we had a whole discussion?
Because why do the toothpaste need to be? Are you one of those people that say the toothpaste got to be on top of the thing?
Yes, it does.
Why? Okay, I'm finna go.
It's gonna squeeze out. Like, what if you drop it and you step on it and
squeezing it out? Who's squeezing it out? No one's in there. We're gone for the day. It's been used. Okay.
Look, we can't.
It's been used.
I don't agree with that.
I don't think you got time for it.
Like, he's like, no. You see the difference between men and women. He's like,
the seat is adjustable. Just press your nose and it's gonna scoot back. He was like, you too short. Okay, I'm not short. I'm just height challenged. I
was about to say a little height challenge.
Like, everybody can't be 6'1". Okay, Jesus. Okay, anywho, but that just goes back to just saying like establishing like healthy boundaries and letting them be able to see healthy situations happen. So like growing up, I didn't see healthy situations happen. If people was arguing, they was legitimately arguing. You just like, let me get in the corner, like I know, like let me make sure, you know, ain't nobody beating nobody to the ground when I was growing, but just them having those tough conversations with my mom and dad going back, being against each other or arguing. I want them to be able to see a healthy conversation, like a genuine healthy conversation. What you didn't like, what you did like, and it's okay to walk away. It's okay to come back to the conversation. We don't have to have a resolution. You know, this is not Mr. Rogers. We're not gonna be kumbaya. Like there's gonna be moments where dad is upset with mom, and that's okay. I still love him. Mom is upset with dad. That's okay. We're gonna allow him that space, and then you'll see us come back together, and then we'll be making and talking and kicking and hollering. But continue. Okay.
Shad, what about you? Okay, I'm gonna ask the question again. Okay. When you think back, what's a toxic trait or behavior you believe you saw in your household that you had to unlearn? So what's something toxic that you had to unlearn that you saw growing up?
One of them I would say that I'm currently going through right now is gender roles. I think growing up, especially my grandparents and my parents, they were very heavy on women should be doing this, men should be doing this. Yeah. And I think it worked for them because of where they were in life. Yeah. But for me, for where I am, I have to be more understanding that maybe my wife can't cook every goddamn night. Right. Or she can't clean up all the time or do laundry. So I gotta feel good or feel okay with stepping in and understanding that some days she can give 30 and I gotta be able to give that 70. Yes. So as long as that continues going back and forth, then that's totally fine. So I think that's the main thing that I've been working on right now. We've been married for 2 years, so we're still trying to figure it out.
They've been married for 2 years, but they've been together. Don't downplay.
But I say that because living with somebody is different, right?
Absolutely.
We didn't move in with each other until we got married. So that's what I'm saying on that front. But then another thing, my dad was very much the disciplinarian. So much so to like you were saying, like I was scared of him. You know what I'm saying? Like I would hear his keys jingling. You know what I'm saying? I'm just in the house in the back. I hear his keys on.
Y'all straight up real quick.
So my room was in the front of the house, so I would be able to see when cars are coming up. So when I see my dad coming, or I see the car come up, I'm like, shoot, running out over the field, making sure everything's looking straight. So, I feel like that was a toxic behavior because I feel like he was raising me out of fear, not out of love. And, even though, God bless him, he's not here right now, but it made me the man I am today. I don't want my kids to have to go through that, to have to fear me as a father. So, that's another thing too. But, I can keep going. I ain't gonna lie to you.
With us.
I think those are the main things for sure though.
Yeah. I feel like it was definitely the fear thing. I live, and I still deal with that now. I feel like I project that into my life right now. It was like, I want to do this because one, I'm the head of the train. I'm the firstborn, and you're not allowed in an African household. You're not allowed to mess up anywhere. You're literally carrying the whole household on your back. You're representing your whole entire family. And that already in itself is so toxic. Why is a 9-year-old carrying the namesake of a whole entire family? Right. Like, if you misbehave in school now, they're shaming your whole family because you misbehave in school. So being so scared of my mom that everything I did, I always had that fear of disappointment. Like, you cannot disappoint this lady. You cannot do it. And then taking on the trauma of what I went through as a child coming to America. So taking on that trauma and processing that and still having you cannot disappoint. To the point where I do it now to myself silently. Nobody knows this. I don't even think I shared it with you. Shad, I do it to myself now professionally in my career and everything I do. I'm like, I cannot disappoint anyone. I can't disappoint my mama. Till this day, I can't disappoint my mama. I can't disappoint my father that's passed. I'm carrying the name like they did to me when I was younger. So it struck me so bad till I do it now with everything. It could be the smallest thing. Anything. I ironed the clothes wrong. And I'm like, dang, I disappointed the person I ironed the clothes for. Like, I didn't do it to my full ability. Like, everything had to be done to a unrealistic perfection. Like, don't know. It might be an African thing. It might be a black thing. It might just be a thing.
I think it might be an oldest child thing too.
The oldest child thing. Yeah. Yes. The burden of having to be so perfect and being scared to be a human. Yeah. Like, I cannot make a mistake, because if I make a mistake, not only am I letting my mom down, I'm letting the whole family down. Like, everybody, I gotta carry the load. Yeah. And that affects me now with friendships, to where I project that if I'm not a good enough friend, if I'm not always, I'm about to cry, if I'm not constantly there, if I'm not always on,
it's okay.
I'm disappointed, y'all. Like, and I hate that I do that to myself. And recently, it's been showing up a lot, to where my boyfriend was like, why do you always come up with thank you. Why do you always come up with what you think people are going to react, or how you think people are going to react to certain things? Let them react. Yes. And then you go about, doing what you need to do based on their reaction. Don't create a narrative and you're nothing has happened. You're panicking. And when he said that, I literally just sat back and I was like, bruh, I know, because I know where it comes from, and I didn't realize that it was that deep for me, to where I'm carrying it as a grown woman. Yeah. I don't care. Like, I say I don't care, but I don't want to care what my mom thinks about what I'm doing now, or the decisions I'm making as an adult. I want to be able to adult. Yeah. But that fear was in me so deep that now I'm even scared to let friends down.
You should get yourself.
And I wasn't trying to cry, y'all. I'm sorry, I'm a crybaby. And I don't cry on here often, but that goes to show, like,
it really affects you.
Our childhood has affected all of us as millennials so much that we don't even realize that we're acting off of the past thing. So, y'all, sidebar, that's the unlearning I have to do. I have to stop being scared to disappoint people, because I'm not perfect. I'm not God. I'm not going to have all the answers, and I'm not going to always be able to react as perfect as people want me to, or give them exactly what they need, because I'm not God. Right. Go ahead, Sean. I'm sorry.
So, quick question. What do y'all feel like is harder? Unlearning those toxic habits, or practicing new great habits daily?
Both.
Really? But one got to be harder.
I feel like unlearning. Yeah, definitely.
Unlearning.
Yeah.
I agree with that too.
Unlearning for sure.
Some of those habits that we have in us have been instilled so deeply, like you were saying, and we believe them for so long. It's hard to just let them go. So yeah, I agree with that 100%. But both of them take a lot of effort.
Yeah, it takes effort. Yes. And for me to, like you said, to restrain from going into the rabbit hole of, dang, I've disappointed them. Now how can I fix it? How can I fix? And I'm fixing nothing that has even happened yet, y'all. So that was a beautiful question, Shot. So next question, before we go into a whole nother therapy session for me at this point, do you feel like our parents were just doing their best, or they were doing what they knew, or do you think culture and community played a role? So do you feel like they were doing their best, they were doing what they knew, or culture and community played a role?
I feel like it's 50 of doing your best, and what was the second one you said? It was what was the say that
doing what they knew, so what they were taught, so what their parents taught them.
So that exactly. So I feel like it was more so doing what they knew as well, and like doing the best that they can in the same sense, because it's like you doing the best what you can with the situation that you got. So you just kind of like life is. Life be like. So you doing it, but you're also doing like what you know. So like my mother was raised by her grandmother. Like her mom passed away. Like she got hit by a semi and she passed away on the highway. So my mom has 4 sisters. Mm-hmm. So all girls have to kind of navigate life with their grandmother, and that's an older generation. So imagine your grandmama raising you and you going through puberty and all the things. So just like her having that old soul, like my mom was like in the middle, so she like that middle child syndrome where you can kind of, nobody really sees you, but you kind of like don't want to do this because she's a little baby doing this, she's the older person doing this, so not what to do and what you don't want to. Right. So I just feel like they were like more so like learning, so.
Yeah.
In that sense, because we still have that whole conversation always comes up, like when we talk about like depression and postpartum and all the things. They're like, well, we didn't have that back in the day. You didn't have that, but you talk about you didn't know.
Yeah,
so,
that's what it was.
Yeah. so definitely, like, I feel like they were just doing like the best that they can, and it's on top of like what they learned, because be for real.
Yeah. Shaw, what about you?
Agreed. Like I feel like they was definitely doing the best that they could, for sure, with what they knew.
Yeah.
And we doing the same thing.
Yeah, we're doing the same. I feel like we're more aware of the toxic, so we're unpacking, we're unlearning a lot as we go compared to them. They just settled in it. I was taught this is what's right, instead of, going back and forth like, is this right? Is this not right? So I agree with both of y'all as well. Okay, so next question. How does therapy, faith, or self-awareness show up in your parenting style today? I'm not a parent, so this is for them.
More so on my side, like with like the postpartum, I have to be very aware of like my emotions, and I'm like a not emotional person. Like, I mean, I be crying for real, but
don't let her sit up here on this here podcast.
One thing I'm gonna do, baby, is cry, because I'm a cry. Okay. But I just feel like when it comes to postpartum, of course, that's just like a lot in itself, just learning yourself, learning your new body, learning the new person. And like I said, I had all boys, so my pregnancies, I'm having 5 boys, so I'm thinking it's the same way, and then I have this girl and it's like, ooh, like, so I'm learning to just take a moment to take a step back and giving myself grace. And I roll my ass when people like, give yourself grace, you just had a baby. We do not want to hear that. Okay, y'all, come wash the dishes, change the diapers. Okay, that's neither. Okay, give me and this man a break, we want to take a nap. Okay. But just like when I'm parenting, just making sure that I'm aware of like where I am emotionally. And then me and my husband, like I said, we've been married for 10 years. We got married when we was 19. We snuck and got married. So just being on tune. And I'm sorry, Mama Daddy. I just pray my sons don't get married at 19. That's another story. Jeez, I already know somebody gonna do something crazy. But anyway, but just us having like a understanding where thankfully we got like a code, like, okay, like, you breathing too hard, like, go ahead, take a break, like, so that doesn't affect like how you're parenting. Like, you don't want to be short-tempered or somebody do something like, why did you drop the fork? So just being aware on how I parent, how I don't allow my emotions to. And sometimes if you having an off day, like if my husband have an off day, like, okay, like, you take your time, you have your off day, like, it's okay. Like, we're still untraining ourselves too. He's untraining himself where he's like getting raised to say like, men don't cry, like, you gotta be tough, you gotta be rough, and trying to do that to our sons. But like, okay, you can cry, you can say how you feel, like, that don't make you less of a man because you're emotional. That don't make you less of a man that you have to have a mental health day or be in tune with your emotions, like, understand your emotions. So making sure that we take a step back. Okay, your postpartum, unpack that, then jump into the parenting. Okay, mom, you want to make sure that you don't create those emotional traumas that you have. Like, I'm like, I really need to sit down with a therapist, because as much as I play and be like, as much as I play, I literally have to like take a step back, like, why do you let your mom affect you so much? Like, if a parent calls you and say something, that should not have an impact. Or like, when they call you, it shouldn't be like, you get that breath and
that fear. I'm like, that brings it all the way back to the fear.
And my mom, she never whooped me. Like, she never whooped me. And my dad, maybe because I'm a girl, my daddy used to be like, I'm gonna do this. And he ain't never do nothing for real. Like, he was just like talking, but I was really scared. When I told you I'd be crying, I'd be like, oh my God, my dad's gonna whoop me.
But that's that fear. That's what I'm saying. In all seriousness, it was fear. Even though they didn't say what they were going to do all the time, that fear was embedded. And there's so much that is still affecting us.
And that's why I'm like, let me just when I unpack that whole question, like, let me just make sure that I take a step back, let me acknowledge how I feel or whatever the situation is going on, and then boom, let me jump into a parenting and just enjoy that moment and just give yourself grace, because parenting didn't come with a handbook. So it's like, sometimes you gotta wing it. Sometimes it's like a chicken nugget and pieces.
Look, can't relate. Sorry.
Listen.
I'm 100% glad you said that, because that leads into what I felt like was main thing for me is spiritually, it's what I'm understanding now is that every step that I take is spiritually led, right? Because I pray every day. I make sure that I try my best to be aligned with what He has for my life. So I know that everything I do is aligned with what He has for me. So it's okay to wing it. It's okay to not understand what you're gonna do next and how you might put food on the table or how you're gonna raise your kids in this era, right? It's okay to feel that way, because I like to call it cocky faith. You have cocky faith that God's going to guide you in the right direction. So that's the main thing for me for that question.
That was good. Like I said, I can't add to this side of the conversation because we're just gonna pray for me, saints.
I mean, you could tell us what you feel like you might do, or how you feel like it might affect you.
Okay, so what's the quick look? Let's go next question real quick. Let me see if I can add my little one-two step.
I think it was. You got it.
Okay.
Sorry.
How does therapy, faith, self-awareness show up in your parenting style? Okay, self-awareness, like I mentioned before, what was I thinking at that age? How would I have reacted, or what would I have done as a child? Where was my imagination? Why would they have thrown the Sprite on the floor to see if it's still gonna fizzle? You know what I mean? Like little stuff like that, that would allow me to not be quick to anger or quick to react, especially for me, who's going to become a parent a little bit later in the game, just a tad. But we don't have the same patience as we would have had having a child at 21, 22, 23. I feel like our parents had that time to kind of give themselves grace and grow up with us to be able to learn how to parent better. When you're having kids after 30, you've already built a tolerance for certain things. So your snap might be a little bit snappier than if you were 20, you'd be like, all right, it's a kid, whatever. Just wipe it off, you know what I mean? And keep it moving. It might become like an anger thing where you react. And then after you react, you step back like, dang, it was a 5-year-old child. Like, they're going to spill stuff. So I guess being more self-aware that it's a child and not being so quick to anger is how I would use that into my parenting style. And then, like I said, taking a step back and adjusting myself before I give a reaction. I do that now with my niece and nephew because I catch myself about to scream, and I did not like when my mom yelled at me because why are you yelling? You can use your inside voice. I still hear you the same. I mean, not now because my ears are low. We know my hearing. They both know, especially her too. We both know. What you said that? My hair a little bit that, but at that age, I could hear perfectly fine, so why are you yelling at me? So being mindful that yelling does not get it any more clear than you saying it in this tone. Hey, I told you to go wash the dishes. I'm not asking, I'm telling. You know what I mean? Being mindful of how I'm communicating is just being more aware that they're a kid, I'm an adult, using the tones that I need to use when it's called for and not exaggerating it just because I'm an adult and they're a child. They're still a human. I'm not greater than and they're not less than. In God's eyes, we're all equal. So I can't be disrespectful to God's child just because I'm looked at as greater than to them because they're a child. So not taking advantage of my adulthood as a parent. That's all I got. Go ahead, Sean.
That's real deal. That's real deal. I love that.
Okay, so we're gonna move on to the next segment. Okay, that was a little deep. But it's just gonna keep getting deeper, y'all. I'm sorry. Okay, so next question. How do you balance healing yourself while raising little humans who are looking up to you? Shaw, this for you too.
Listen,
I'm still out of the cycle, but
listen, how do you balance yourself healing with the little people?
So unlearning, unpacking, while raising kids.
Like I said, when I just acknowledge like, hey, I need to have a therapy session because like that person should not be able to say or like trigger me, and like just learning how to like unpack. Like I just feel like I'm in this era or like this like area of my life, and I always be telling my husband like, hey, when you in this moment, like every test has a testimony, so this is our test. Like, okay, boom, we had a house, okay, trying to get a house, and we're like, oh my god, I can't get out, okay, boom, we got that. Then we're like, oh, we need a bigger car, okay, boom, you know. So every time we get like to this moment, I'm like, okay, God, I'm having to step back and just say, what am I supposed to learn from this moment? And then I just look to my daughter and I'm just like, okay, that is not what you want to be. Like one thing that me and my mom battle, and my mom put me on for sugar, I apologize, you know. See, I'm apologizing. But no, I'm just kidding. More so where it's like, I'm understanding, like mom said, for Mother's Day, you need to get me a gift. I am the mother. One thing I do is I appreciate, you know, my mom, but I just feel like when your daughter, in my personal opinion, when my daughter becomes a mom, I want to celebrate her. Like I had 40, whatever, however old I am when she has a child. I have 50 good years of Mother's Day and celebrate. And not to say that I'm not going to celebrate myself, but I just want you to feel loved. I want you to be like, oh my God, you had a baby. Like, let me just celebrate you. I sent you some flowers. I sent you a car. Like, if you want to give me a gift, great. But it is not a priority. Don't feel like I'm at this moment where I'm like, oh, if I don't give my mom a gift, she's going to like hate me. Like, she's going to like, she's upset. Like, you don't think I'm a good mom? You don't give me. I'm like, dang girl, I got 6 of them things. Relax. So just learning how to be able to sit down and process, like, hey, when you have a daughter, like, what do you want to do differently? What do you want to see differently? Like, you know, she raised me to be a great person. Like, you got all of the things, you know, but taking a moment to understand what this test is about. So I'm learning, like, okay, give yourself grace. And then when you're parenting, make sure that whatever you're struggling with, whatever it struggles with, like your mom or your dad, make sure that don't spill over, so they don't have that trauma. Of course, I feel like they're gonna have a trauma about something, because they're just like, they're gonna be like, why was my mama coughing that hard? She have not would I hear people coughing. Like, she sound like an old man. But I want them to fully understand, like, hey, like, I love you, and then just me understanding myself and getting into myself emotionally. So
what about you, Shad?
So one thing, so my parents, they got married at a young age too. So my mom and dad, they got married when they were like 19.
Sheesh. He's speaking to me.
You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, though, I really feel like one thing that they lacked, and, you know, take this how you feel, was that they didn't fully understand who they were as individuals.
Hello.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So as an individual, you have to continue to grow.
Yes.
Continue to make yourself better.
Yes.
I think that, you know, as a father, as a parent, that's one thing I don't want to lose.
Yes.
Because the more I grow, the better equipped I am to be a great parent.
Yes.
So one thing that I'm doing right now to continue to make sure that, you know, I'm growing myself is, you know, I have my meditations. So I'll wake up early in the morning and I do a meditation and go right back to bed. You know what I'm saying? Just to make sure that I have that moment. And, you know, I go to the gym at night, you know, but that's again, these are all things that are luxuries, because it's a 2-parent household.
Yes.
When it's not a 2-parent household, it might not be that easy.
Right.
So maybe you might have to wait to do these things to after the baby goes to sleep.
Yeah.
So really, it's a blessing that I have a teammate in this.
Yeah.
But that's really the biggest thing for real. It's just like making sure that I don't lose myself in this process of parenting and being a husband.
Yeah. That was good. I love that for you guys.
Yes.
I'm not there yet.
Make sure you go back to these videos.
Yeah, that's right. You were like, I said I was not.
We dropping some gems for you.
Right. Okay, Peter, I receive it. What's something your kids have taught you about you? What's something your kids have taught you about yourself?
I'm gonna let you go first, Sean, because I gotta lie.
Sean, pressure. I'm just kidding.
Good question. So, my daughter has really made me, I'm going to take a step back to what I said earlier, and made me really understand that I am very much a disciplinarian. Like, I thought I was going to be soft dad, you know, but even now, like, I catch myself being really stern with her, even though she's 10 months.
I love it.
Even though she's 10 months, like, I have a very specific goal in mind, and I know how I want to raise my kids. So, just knowing that I'm going to be a disciplinarian, making sure that I'm not, like, uber harsh or, you know, being mean. Those are something too. And she also showed me that I'm a little bit mean sometimes too. So
mirror on the wall. Hello.
Even though I be trying to be chill, I'm very much a relaxed person. But you know, not only is I guess one of those things is that, like, when I love hard. Yeah. Right. So sometimes I can be less forgiving to people that I love because they know. So just have to understand that, okay, just because, you know, I love you and you're right next to me every day doesn't mean I still have to give you grace.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So hopefully that answers the question.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
Okay, you don't have to read the question because you know I got all the D's. So
Okay. What's something your kids have taught you about yourself?
Some things that my children taught me about myself is that I be playing. Like, I be playing too much in serious conversations. Like, and I feel like that's what keeps me so, like,
coping mechanism.
Yes, like, but with my child, like, my middle child, he don't take nothing serious. Like, he gonna be like, yes. And the fact that you knew I was talking about it was crazy. Like,
okay, right? Whatever.
Like, I could literally be like, you know, you're not supposed to be sneaking the twins some juice, and like, my man's like, bro, you supposed to be fake crying, like you finna get a whooping or something. Bro be laughing at me like, so, but
I learned it from someone.
Right. Like, I'm talking about consistently playing, like, to the point we have to get on him, like, stop playing. Like, life is not a joke. Like, we dropped him off in kindergarten, and I was, like, in my fields, and I was just, like, I dropped him off. I'm like, okay, let's go to the next person's class, and let's just keep pushing. My husband spent the block, and he like, I just gotta check on him. Oh, so you and my man told my husband, he's like, he looked in the classroom, my son was like, he just come out the school crying. Like, I'm talking about the resource officer's like, Mom, go check on Dad. Like, check on Dad? I'm finna cry when we get to the court. Like, what do you mean? I'm like, not you showing in front of these people. Like, it's a whole 50,000. So just, like, understanding, like, he's gonna keep us, like, you know, like, life ain't gotta be so serious. Like, you know, it ain't gotta be so serious. And that, okay, when I'm having, like, a tough conversation, or, like, Grayson, he's like our in-between child, even though everybody pretty much is our middle child, but he's like our in-between, and he's like, you know, Mom, like, if I'm like having a rough day, like, Mom, don't be sad, like, take a deep breath, relax.
Oh, hello. Back into it, guys. Okay, so this is the fun part, y'all. That was all so serious, but that was such a beautiful conversation, and I feel like all of it was needed. The tears, the laughs, the fun, the joy, the seriousness, all of it was definitely needed, but we're gonna jump into the game. That was my childhood, but not my kids. 5 minutes. 5-minute game, y'all. How it works. You and your guests take turns saying things you experienced growing up that kids don't experience now. So that's the rules of the game. All right. Getting yelled at for finishing everything on my plate. My kids will eat until they're full. So are you going to be the parent that say eat all the food, or no?
You said you was hungry. What does we sit at the table for? No, I'm just kidding. But no, I'm more so like, hey, you know, if you full, I get it. Like, cause sometimes I don't be want to eat that food either. Like, it's okay. I'm not gonna be like,
yeah.
I'm definitely gonna be one of the ones that finish the damn food. I ain't gonna lie to you, cause bro, food ain't cheap.
It's not.
You know what I mean? And then not only that, like like how I envision my family is we all gonna be sitting down eating dinner together.
I love that for you.
At least envision, right?
This is gonna be rolling.
So, you know, if that's the case, then, you know, ain't gonna be no eating in your room, ain't gonna be no eating on the couch or nothing like that. You need to be right here, right now.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm already finished your food. 3 more bites. Yeah. I think I used to do this. I used to do this with her son. The middle child, Graham did not want to eat.
Listen.
Unless it was like something he just ate for fun. Graham did not want to eat. I'm like, Graham, you're not about to get me in trouble for not eat your food.
And then he just want a snack. Like, come on.
Yes, he always wanted a snack.
But that's my toxic trait, because you know my snack closet is full with everything. Still to this day.
No.
We got all the fruit snacks.
You gonna finish that food. And then I think about too, as a child, we didn't always have what we wanted to eat, and you're getting what you want. So you gonna finish this food, especially if you ask for it. Eat half of it at least. I mean, don't be wasteful. Kids in Africa,
right?
Kids down the street, around the corner in South Dallas. We don't even talk about Africa. Down the street. So yes, finish your food. I'm gonna try to be nice about it because they do get full. Be real, but finish your food. I don't play that. Okay, next one. Hiding feelings because I didn't want to upset adults.
Yeah, don't have their feelings. One thing that we want to do as they're older, now I'm gonna have to reference this because now that they're little, when they get older, we want to make sure that we, you know, have that conversation. So I definitely want to be like, don't hide your feelings. Let's have a conversation. Let's create a space. I want to say like we'll have a house meeting like once a week just to circle back. Check in. Yeah.
What about you, Sean?
100% agree. That's my childhood, but not for my kids.
Right.
Yeah. Clearly that's mine. I just had a breakdown. I I just had a breakout.
Yes.
No. Tell me, I'm not God. I am very intuitive, but I can't read your mind.
Yes.
I need to know how everything affects you so we can adjust. I don't want anyone to feel like they're so scared of me they can't talk to me. So definitely no, that's not gonna fly with me. Okay, getting whooped for. I just said this. Getting whooped for spilling juice.
No, not for spilling juice. Now, if we playing at the table, with littles, I just be like, don't put that juice over there. But anyway, no, not spilling juice. Accidents happen. Like, I be spilling stuff, so that's unrealistic.
Yeah.
Sean?
You better hold on.
Hey, we about to get in trouble.
Listen, I'll be mopping. Your mama just out here mopping. If you get in trouble, I'll get in trouble. I gotta live here. You don't.
Exactly.
So get into it with them.
It's definitely situational. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, if it's on accident, then cool.
Right.
If you plan,
right.
You consistently doing that, not only
right.
you making me have to clean up what you wasting my money, bro. And I'm sorry.
Listen.
And I guess this.
Well.
Take a step back. That's one of them toxic traits that I gotta make sure that I have. That I make sure that I don't carry into my kids. It's like money. It was always a taboo subject.
Yes.
So I gotta make sure I keep that like them locked in on that, especially when they're consciously able to understand it.
Yeah, definitely.
But whooping is kind of whooping is
right.
Okay, so I
like a little pop.
Right.
Yeah, a little flick.
Yeah.
I will flick you. Mm-hmm. What I will do is punish you, because you're gonna have to learn one way or another. You're gonna stand in this time out, and then you're gonna write me a note on what you've learned from what you did and how are you going to adjust that, and we're going to make a commitment to your adjustment, because I need to know that you understand, not just me putting you in the corner and thinking I'm doing something. I need to know that you clearly understand what you've done wrong and how we're going to honor getting the commitment of trying to fix it. Once we've had that discussion, by all means, let's go back to our regularly scheduled program, but you're definitely going to get adjusted. Yeah, you're gonna get adjusted. You're gonna get put right in a little corner, okay? But no, I'm not gonna beat no kid for spilling no juice, because as clumsy as I am and I be dropping stuff, y'all, I had to hand over the camera to Shaw when we first got it, because I was like, bro, I'm gonna break this. I don't even want to touch it. Take it. Bye. Like, I don't even want to touch it because I'm gonna drop it. So I can't. That's not fair. I don't think that's fair. Okay, last segment before we go. Advice and encouragement as a parent that you would give to our listeners, our viewers. Any advice?
Advice would be just give yourself grace. Remember that parenting does not come with a handbook. Some days you're gonna have a good day, some days you're gonna have a bad day. If you have a partner, great. My advice to that is like, communicate. Like I said, 10 years in the game, and it's still hard, but making sure that you give yourself grace. Enjoy the moments, enjoy the mess ups, enjoy, because as they get older, it's gonna be something else. So I'm just enjoying the little moments where it's just juice and not boys and girls, and so just take a step back, enjoy the moments. You got this. You can do it. You go, if you gotta go to the car and cry, you gotta go to the bathroom and cry. Even if you gotta cry in front of the little people, just know those are the people that need you. Those are the people that matter. Everybody else said that you should have, you could have, you would have, you did, you need, and you should be doing something like this. Just remember that little person is thinking that you're doing an amazing job. So you keep showing up. You showing up is enough, because there's little kids in this world that don't even have somebody showing up and stuff. So there's people in foster care that needs people to show up. So just show up. And if they have somebody else in their lives that's not there, show up for them, because I'm all about showing up for somebody else's kid. Like, you don't have your mama. Yes. So, and I have a village, so I want to be like that community mom. So be that community person, be that safe place for kids where they could come, be vulnerable, and just allow yourself grace. Like, that's literally all you can do. And just know,
I love that.
every day at a time. Because
any wise words or wisdom?
I can't help but to piggyback up what you're saying, right? Like, vulnerability isn't a weakness.
Right.
Everything I feel like to the kids, it shows them how strong you are, and it makes them trust you even more.
Yes.
Because you're not afraid to show them where you're weak at. You know what I mean? So I think that's super important. And then there was a scripture that I had too. It was
a man with a word.
I'm gonna get my phone out.
Ephesians 6:4, raise them with discipline and instruction of the Lord, not frustration, right? Parenting is more so about being present and patient, and not about being like perfect, You know what I mean? So, as a creative, I have that deeply where I want to be perfect in everything I do. But as a parent, I can't look to be perfect. I just got to be there and be patient and let God allow my steps.
Yes.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Thank you guys so much for being vulnerable enough to share. I know I'm a crybaby. I'm crying anyway. Yes. But I love that I get to experience that in friendships where it's not just me entertaining my thoughts on what I would, should, could do. I love that I get to experience this in the middle of my friendships, that I can kind of learn from it. So it's not just me creating these narratives from my mind. I get to pull from you guys, and that's beautiful to have a village to be able to share that. I'm not a parent yet. We're going to pray for me on that. But this was such a great conversation. I truly appreciate you being here.
Thank you for having me all the time.
Thank you, Sean. No, this was great. I really enjoyed today, sincerely from the bottom of my heart. I feel like this is a conversation that's very needed, especially for millennials and our parents. They get to hear our thoughts and our expressions on what they did to us. Yes. But that's it, folks. Thank you guys for watching Salon Talks with Sony. I am your girl, Sony. Bye.
Hey, let's talk.